So you may remember that back in Season 1 I made a video talking about the favourite skins that I own for all of the hunters that I had, which at the time was all 13 of them, but now we are halfway through Season 3 and we have an additional 2 hunters, so I thought it would be worth me updating that video. But before I do get into it, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on so that you don't miss out on any more Star Wars Hunters videos. But without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into it. So I'll start off here with Pilbush, the newest hunter to the game. Now, with Pilbush being so new and me having not completed the Arena Pass yet, I don't actually own all of these things. My favourite skin for her probably is this Ewok pilot one, but I don't own it, so it doesn't count. This is her default outfit, but my favourite one probably is this Violet Ewok. It is, of course, just a colour change, but I really do like the orange and the purple. It feels very saturated and colourful, so big fan of that. And as for the weapon wrap, I have this AT-ET Dasher, which I'm a big fan of as well. And overall, it probably is this X-Wing or Tauntaun skin that's my favourite, but again, doesn't count. Dieago is next, and I would say this Swampy Sharpshooter bundle is my favourite. So this was in the previous Arena Pass for Dieago, based off of the sort of Mimban officer from Solo, and the slug thrower rifle for him is also my favourite as well. I just think they look great, honestly. I do have this for Dieago, which I am a big fan of, but I just love the Imperial aesthetic to this and his overall outfit. As for Rieve, I would say it is probably the Darth Vader bundle for her skin and lightsaber. I do have the Starkiller and Darth Maul skin as well, which are also great, but for me, something about this one I just absolutely love. Her lightsabers were honestly even harder to decide. This is the Vader one, which I said is my favourite. I do also have this one, which is just insane, the Darth Maul one as well, of course. And I have this from the current Arena Vault, but again, I think just something about this being Darth Vader's and just the overall look of it, I'm just such a big fan of, so that is why that is my favourite. Next is Utooni, which is a bit of a harder one to be honest, because I don't really feel like there are any skins that like stand out to me massively, honestly. There's quite a few really interesting colour variations here with Utooni, which I do like, especially this teal one. But overall, I probably would say this sort of saturated orange colour is probably my favourite one so far. It does also have a blue gonk droid on the back as well, which I do really like. And as for the weapon, again, it's quite normal and samey with the weapons, but I feel like with this shock blaster being different here, that one probably is my favourite because it feels a bit like Briar Pistol inspired, and I also like the colours. Moving on to Sprocket, there's a few that I like. I really like the Cloud9 set, but for me the Troikan Racer outfit is definitely my favourite one. I don't unfortunately have the speeder bike version for this on his weapon wrap, and if I did, it probably would be my favourite, but looking at what I do have for him, the Iron Chair probably is my favourite one. This is inspired by Iron Squadron from Star Wars Rebels, and I'm just a big fan of the colour combination it's got going on here. Charr has quite a few cool ones. This Utapau Explorer one I really like, especially with that face paint. There's a few other pretty cool ones as well with the different skulls on his back, but my personal favourite is this Frozen Trapper, which has a Wampa skull on the back, Snowtrooper armour, fur, and some cool sort of makeup and paint and stuff, which I just think looks really cool. As for his weapon wrap, I only have some fairly basic ones, but this Utapau Scattergun is awesome. I love the sort of blades on the edge of it as well. They're very cool, and for me, ultimately what make this my favourite. Slingshot is a really good one, honestly. I'm a huge fan of this Scout Trooper one, but I probably would say the TIE Pilot edges it slightly. As for the weapon wraps, again, I've got quite a few that I really like here. The Swoop Bike, the Tatooine Dream Pod Racer, both very cool options, but I absolutely adore the TIE Interceptor. It's my favourite TIE fighter of all time. So to see that on this droidica is just very, very cool. I'm a big fan of the way that the team at Zynga did this. So I definitely say this is my favourite. For Aran, I'm a big fan of him, honestly, with his cosmetics. Obviously a lot of Mandalorian stuff, naturally. Death Watch here, Ancient Mandalorian Rally Master, very cool. And some other really nicely inspired skins as well. But my personal favourite so far is the Imperial Super Commando from Star Wars Rebels. I just think it looks amazing, and it's very different to his other outfits as well, so I'm a big fan of that. As for his weapon wraps, this was a pretty hard one as well, because you've got the Westar 35s, which are the pretty normal blast pistols you see Mandalorians have, which I probably would say are my favourite, but I do also have these, which are quite nice. These EE4 looking blaster pistols, but then also these Imperial Executioners as well, so these are the blaster pistols for the Imperial Super Commandos. These do look very good and are honestly a very close second, if not joint first, but I do like the classic look of the Westar 35s. Imara Vex is a tough one because she honestly does have quite a lot of really cool skins. I like these simple recolors. Then this sort of Death Star Gunner inspired one looks really cool. The Dirge one looks great. The Inquisitor skin is awesome. There's a lot of just great things with Imara, honestly. Huge fan of this one in particular as well. The Imperial integrations are probably some of my favorite, but I would say this Shift Veteran skin probably is my favorite so far, which is what you got for getting the game on the Nintendo Switch around launch. I don't know if it is still available or not, but the helmet is just so different and just really cool. I'm a big fan of white and I'm a big fan of red as well, so this skin just speaks to me on so many levels. And then as for the weapon, I probably would just go for the Erodium Champion, which is just the gold version of her standard blaster. I'm a big fan of this as well, to be honest, but I just love the way this gold works with the white and red, to be honest, so that combination for me is my favorite. J3 is a tough one because by the time this video goes out, I will actually have the X-Wing skin for him because it is literally the next thing on the Arena Pass, so I would probably say that is my favorite skin for J3, but as I'm recording this, I would definitely say the Jedi Master hooded skin based on Keller and Beck is my favorite. I'm a big fan of the way they did the hood for this and made that work by having that as a separate mesh to the cloak, and I love the detailing on his chest as well. It just looks great. And as for his lightsaber design, this was a pretty tough one as well, to be honest, because this is the Keller and Beck one, which looks cool, but there are quite a few others that I do like as well. I don't actually have that many for him, which I thought I did, but this one I think is the Quinlan Voss inspired lightsaber, which just again, the color combination here just looks great to me. I love the little gold at the bottom, and the handle's pretty neat as well, so I'd say this is definitely my favorite. Skora, I've got quite a lot of outfits for her, mostly in the epic sort of category. I like this suit with all the different colors going on. This one's inspired by Zam from Attack of the Clones, which is pretty cool. Definitely a fan of this Imperial Officer one as well. There's quite a few good ones there, but I probably would say that this Needle Storm Dock is my favorite. The helmet for me just makes it, and I love the fact that her needles are lighting up as well. That's just very cool. So I definitely recommend you getting this skin when you can. I can't remember if it's going to be in the store anytime soon or if it might come to an Arena Pass. I don't actually know. As for her weapon, I would say this Imperial Blaster one is my favorite. Others are fairly standard ones. I quite like this and how it feels quite like World War I, World War II inspired. I like the colors of this one as well, but for me, the Imperial sort of barrel on it, like the E22 look, is just really cool with this gun, so definitely my favorite. As for Zaina, I feel like I've got quite a few skins for her as well. Some of them awesome, but my personal favorite is this veteran one based off of Padme from Attack of the Clones. I feel like they've done a really good job with her hairstyle here. The overall clothing looks great as well, and it does have that Rebellion little logo on there as well, which I think looks really cool. As for the blaster pistols, this was a bit of an easy one for me, to be honest. I love this Marshall Special one. It just looks so powerful to me and looks like it would be a ton of fun to shoot. So yeah, I feel like this compared to anything else I have is just, it wipes the floor with it. The DL44 is obviously a classic. This one's inspired by Phoenix Squadron as well. There's some good stuff in here, but yeah, my current favorite is definitely this one. Grozz is an interesting one as well. I've got quite a few legendary outfits for him. I really do like this Imperial Probe Droid skin, but I probably would say the Shire Defender is my favorite for him at the moment. First of all, I think it looks great, but also the meaning of it as well, being a Shire bird, which is something that we saw in Jedi Fallen Order. That connection to me is a really big thing, so it just works on many levels. The weapon clubs was also a tricky one. There's quite a few really good ones here, especially these pre-match clubs. I love these, and you cannot go wrong with these droid ones either. But for me, again, I already said earlier in this video, I'm a big fan of red, and I love the blades sort of added to this one, so I'd say these ones are definitely my favourite clubs. Then we have K-AOS, and I think this is an obvious one again for me. I've got quite a few cool things with her already. I don't quite have TK yet, and she does have some great skins, but my favourite one that I own is definitely this General Grievous one, inspired by when he was actually a Kalish and not the cyborg we know him to be. I really was never expecting to see a skin like this, and I just think it looks incredible. If you've seen the concept art that looks like this skin, they've just absolutely nailed it, honestly, and the clubs to go with it as well, just being General Grievous's head, is just so sick. This one's pretty cool, and the others are really interesting as well. I'm a big fan of the way they've been using her weapon shields cosmetically, but for me, just General Grievous' head like that with the cyborg is just, it just looks amazing. So big fan of that. And finally then we do have Sentinel. I feel like this is probably the only skin that hasn't changed in terms of being my favorite. I have a lot of really good things with Sentinel. Big fan of the Mud Trooper, of course, the Sentry Trooper as well. Death Trooper from last season's great. The Baze Malbus one from this season's also very cool, but as you probably know, the Patrol Trooper just has a very special place in my heart, like the TIE Interceptor. So yeah, cannot change this for anything, honestly. It probably won't ever change, but we will have to wait and see. As for his weapon skin though, I can't remember what this was before, but this is the Baze Malbus inspired one. It looks absolutely insane, honestly. I'm a big fan of the E-Webs, honestly, though. We got the Mud Trooper one here, a flamethrower of sorts. The DT Sentry Trooper one as well just looks crazy. And this E11D inspired one I just think looks phenomenal as well. But I love how different this looks. The Baze Malbus blaster with his connection there and the backpack essentially being exactly like Baze's. They've done a really cool job with it. And I just feel like it looks just insane. It looks so bulky and cool. Honestly, it's very good. So yeah, honestly, they are probably all of the favorite skins that I own so far. There probably are different ones in terms of overall favorites depending on who you're looking at, but obviously this video was all about skins that I own. I'll probably do an updated version of this in season 5 because again we would have another 2 seasons worth of content there. But that is it from me today, guys. Let me know some of your favorite skins in Star Wars Hunters in the comments. That is it from me though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.